I love talking on mute. It excites me. It turns me on. Welcome, the Warchief of Light is live. We get another epic night of gaming, ass-kicking, nerding out, and having fun. Hi, my name is Peebs, but you lovely people are more than welcome to call me Peebs. Really? Mute? Like, come on. Come on. So, tonight, it's going to be more exciting than the mute button, I assure you. But tonight, we are going to be catching up on shit that I really need to catch up on. A lot of shit. We're going to be doing some PvP. We are going to be doing... I'm thinking some crafting, because, like, I'm way behind in all kinds of shenanigans like that. So maybe some leveling. Listen, there's, I want to say, like, a year or two's worth of content that I have not touched in this game. Let's get into it, because that's a lot. I hope everyone's having a good night. Obviously better than my mute button situation. And the fact that I cannot see out of these glasses. Holy shit, they're bad. Hi, how are you? I can't see the screen at all right now. I don't have, like, terrible vision, but it ain't great. And I'm starting to not see great up front either. Like, we ain't doing very good at all. Hi, Jonathan, how are you? The packing is going. She's going, but I'm at the spot where I'm at the spot where I'm looking for stuff to put it away that isn't affecting my daily life. Because I still have 16 days until move, so it's trying to figure that out. Hello, Sangoma! So it's figuring out that kind of stuff and still being able to live around. I'm also struggling with downsizing. I am solidly struggling with downsizing. I am still not quite sure how in the fuck I'm gonna be doing all this downsizing. I don't know. Like, there's a lot there. So, yeah, we're figuring it out. Basically, for those of you who don't know, I'm going from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom. And while I call this 2-bedroom a small 2-bedroom, it's really a regular apartment size in this province. It's really not exceptional. It's not exceptionally small, but she ain't exceptionally big. So, there's some challenges there. 10 pounds in a 1 pound bag, pretty much. And the other side of the problem is I also have to, fuck, I hate this quest. The other side of the problem is, yeah, the other side of the problem is really, like, the downgrading. Basically, my son is going to be getting the master bedroom. He doesn't have a whole lot of stuff, which is why he's getting it. So we can actually use the master bedroom for a lot of storage. And a lot of stuff's going to stay in boxes. It's just one of those, like, too bad moments. Hold on, I need to move this microphone. You go here, you go here, you can come here. I can't read the screen. Hello. Turn it down just a little bit so it's not too loud. There, how about that? Okay. So, it's basically, when I'm done, I'm hoping that my son will have, like, a wall of boxes in his room. Boxes and bins. And that's just going to be the reality of the situation. It is what it is. And we're also hoping that it's a year. That's the idea. It's a temporary fix for a year. So, we'll have to wait and see how she goes, but, whew. There's some sweating involved. Guaranteed. What is this madness? The house that Ginu built. I will survey this land later when I'm not on this flying stupid thing. So what am I doing right now? I am doing the dailies for this guy specifically because these are my level. Like, I am level 57. They are my level. This is a really good way to level up. So that's what we're going to do. Some leveling shenanigans. So yeah, it's there's a lot being thrown out, a lot being donated, a lot being sold. Like, I sold my big L desk, which breaks my heart. But it needed to be sold. And that's kind of where we're at. So I have packed probably like 11 boxes of just books. 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 Because of course I did. Of course I did. Oh, Calvin, I bought this desk for $120. While this was the best $120 I had ever spent, like, I'm not gonna argue. Like, I fucking love this desk. Okay? But where I'm going, it ain't going. Like, it ain't gonna fit. It isn't no. She ain't coming. And honestly, a large L desk, even when we purchase a house, we may not have room for it. I may need 2 desks, right? So it's a wait and see moment. But right now I really don't need it. You need to get your Disciples of the Hand to level 50. I will love the Moogle quest. I absolutely, like, there are very few things that are sure in this world. Me loving Moogle quests, bet your ass. You can bet your ass I will love that shit. Love it. We should destroy any grounds keepers. Grounds reapers. Ah, right there. But no, you know that I'll like the Moogle quest. You know it. Like, it is destined to love the Moogle quest. Little tools! Ah! There. It's dead. Perfect. That's 1. Ah, there's the other. I'm sitting on my leg. It hurts. So yeah, that's what I did. I also spent, like, tonight I only packed 1 box, which is, like, low. But I reorganized all my boxes. I put all, like, the plastic tubs on one side of the room. I put the, and I, like, leveled. I leveled. I put the boxes all well organized so that I can figure out, like, what's going on. Like, boxes the same size are now stacked. Like, again, not huge, but, like, it was a lot of work, actually. So that's what I've been up to. My husband's been painting. Yeah. Why has he been painting? Because cats are assholes. Where I'm currently living, there's 2 flights of stairs, okay? It's a 3-story building. I know, right? It's a big fucking apartment. Like, if you guys seen this, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, you're going from that to a 2-bedroom? Good luck. It's massive. And cats are assholes. They really like the bars between the railings of the stairs. A lot. Like assholes. So, my husband's been painting railings. He's still recovering from a hip replacement, so he can't, like, lift and shit. But he can paint railings. So that's what he did. And for those of you who are like, Peebs, why are you painting? They're gonna paint anyway when you leave. The response is that bitch wants her deposit. I don't give a fuck. I'll spend the $30 in paint to ensure that deposit. I like money a lot. Although I have to admit, I don't see a reason why we wouldn't get full deposit. I have only once ever in my renting history not gotten a deposit back. Or, oh, what the fuck was that? Speaking of cats being assholes, he just knocked my marker down. Yeah, never once have I not gotten a deposit back. Once I didn't get a full deposit back. There was a damage to a wall that was completely legitimate. And they're like, hey, this is how much it's gonna cost. Cool, take it. Yeah, every other time, like, the deposit's there. Your girl gets it. But I also repair my shit, right? Like, again, painting railings. And for Grand Company is great for leveling crafters. Oh, nice. I know that this Grand Company does some stuff like that, but I don't know. If I'm being totally honest, this Grand Company is bigger than I am. Like, they're online, like, they do a lot of activities and stuff. And they get into, like, Discord drama and shit, and I'm like, it's a little much. I'll also buy high quality item and cheese it. There's always a way to pay your way to the top. I'm kidding. No, FC. Not FC. Oh, Grand Company. Okay, yeah. Get ya. Oops. Yeah, but my FC is like, they're not bad. There's just a... They take it a lot more seriously than I do. That's actually a good way to put it. They take it a lot more seriously than I do. And that's fine. Some people enjoy that, right? But I got burnt out hard with World of Warcraft doing that. Like, I was in guilds that raided 3 nights a week. I led guilds that had 500-600 members, like, large. And now that I'm older and I have my space and my peace, nope, I am so good. I am so good. I don't know. No. If I didn't stream and I played this like a lot on the nightly, which I probably would, having a FC to do activities with is fun and all, but again, I would never want to come back to that same situation that I was in Warcraft. Never, ever, ever. Like, but when I finally got out of it, oh, one of them. So we still got the ventures. Alright, cool. But yeah, like, I'm good. You'll never see me do that again. Never, never, never. Where did he go, little minion? Ah, he's up here. Look how cute he is! Let's go to see the minion guide. Holy fuck, how many new ones did I get? I don't feel that one's that new. There's the new one. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, yes, I did get Felicious. Felicious? I don't know how to spell that. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to do a trial, because I like them. They're quick, they're easy, they're you name it. I like them. and go to the gold saucer, but yeah. No, I will never go as hard in an FC or a guild like I used to. Never, never, never. And I'm not saying anything bad against people that like that stuff. If you like that stuff, go ahead. It just wasn't for me at that stage. Or I didn't... by the time I realized that it was too much, I was in too deep. Fuck off. Really? Here. No. Oops. Damn it. Ah, I get the booby prize. I think that's 23. Hold on. Math. Yep, we're taking it. Yay, money! I love this so much. Oh, by the way, publisher weekend for Square Enix Steam. A lot of this, actually, we're gonna go check that out after this. There's a few things I want to do, like, on top of Final Fantasy 14 tonight. Okay, booby prize, booby prize. Booby prize. That's okay. Just like real life, this isn't gonna happen. At least I'm not spending my IRL money in this, right? Which is fine. I'm good with that. Booby prize, that's right. I went smush. Do 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 do. But no, I've got a few things that I've got some shenanigans up my sleeve here tonight. Tonight. I'm telling you. On the bright side, my office is all set up in the new city already, which I thought was pretty awesome. Like, I don't see. We work out of cubicles, which is fine. Have I ever tried to punch? No, I haven't. I don't understand how to do most of these games. Honestly, I don't get them. I haven't looked them up because that would be the smart thing to do. Is it really? Because I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit, but the people that like Warcraft, okay? The people that always liked Warcraft love the new stuff that's out. And I mean, I have no problem saying, hey, when you guys did something shit, you did something shit. But simply put, like, again, if something's not for everybody, that's fine. That's a whole different story. But from what I understood, listen, I haven't played Warcraft. Well, actually, the last time I played Warcraft, I did on this channel. I didn't redo my subscription. I haven't paid for it again because why would I do that? They're filling up bars again. Some people, I don't know. Again, I have no idea. I live in a little bit of a vacuum because I see, like, now the opposite's also true though. Like, I live in a vacuum, but I don't. Usually you can see when the comments are like, this game is shit. When it's going really bad, you can see it. And I'm not seeing that, right? Like, Shadowlands did a lot that was really just offensive, to an offensive point, right? Where this, as far as I can tell, it's classic Warcraft feeling that people are liking the story narrative. And a lot of like typical stuff, like I don't know, I've seen a lot of the opposite, but then again I'm on Twitter, right? So it's hard to tell. I forgot how to do this as a DPS! I haven't had the DPS this in a long fucking time. I tank it. Actually, yeah, I've tanked this one the most, I think. I don't know what the fuck happened. Yeah, he gone. So I don't know what happened. That's okay. Did they not go down fast enough? I don't know. I don't know. I assume it's an ad problem. Oh, okay. So they fucked up with the barrier. Got it. Go. See, I'm used to doing it as a tank, right? Where I'm like just standing there doing that stuff. The bad behavior. Okay. Okay, so there we didn't activate it at all. Love that. Okay. Oh, we're just gonna have to keep at it. It's alright. We'll get it. No big deal. I have 2 dots. Okay, gonna take him out. All right. Was that too early? I feel like it's a bit too early. Maybe? I don't know. Fuck am I talking about? I don't know. Okay, we're struggling. I can't believe we're struggling. Focus down the white orbs when they spawn. That's what they're saying in the chat. Oh, by the way, Diablo open beta. If you guys are into that. Well, we all like to shit on Blizzard. Diablo's just not a game for me. It's alright, like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, but that's usually where it stays. It's just alright. And I usually do a playthrough of it. And that's it. Playthrough. Like the Diablo 3, I played it on console. Okay, so. And I played it with my husband, like 100% casual. Like we would play on date nights and stuff. Like, again, it wasn't meant to be like a super complicated thingamabobber. It was 100%, hey, let's hang out, play this game. Sounds like fun. Okay, take them out fast. I think that's how it was supposed to go. I know it's open beta, so you don't need to pre-purchase for today. But again, without shitting on Blizzard, it's not... Diablo is just... I'm not that interested in Diablo. It's a game that, oh, I own it, I'll play it. And that's kind of the end of that. You know what I mean? It's alright. Hello, Starfall. But yeah, that's my... With Diablo, that's my thoughts. It's just, it's okay. It's not a bad game. It's okay. Is it excellent? Can I put 100 hours into it? No. It just never was my thing. That's all. That's it. That's the end. No, I am getting ready to move. So what I did was I sold my beautiful L desk. I'm on a kitchen table. And the setup is going to be like this for the next couple weeks. And then we're probably going green screen after that. In the new flat. I need to unlock Eureka Orthos. I don't think I can. I think you need to be certain... don't you have to have done like Palace of the Dead to a certain level to be able to do that? Okay. Oh, what's this? Hold on. This is important. Leap of faith? Fuck that. Yeah, I'm not there. I don't have that. Let's go to Wolf's Den. Let's go see what Bard PvP looks like. Just level 50? Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I'm telling you, I have like a year's worth of content. Okay, hold on. Where do I get my PvP skills? Profile, conflict, job. There you go. Okay, that doesn't change. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. Aha! A walking coat! I love it. Purify. Put you here. Yeah. Final Fantasia. There. Okay. Powerful shot. Delivers an increase. Alright. Oh, nope. Hold on. So chances are that's gonna be my every show. Apex arrow. Oh, this one's important. We're gonna... all in a straight line, so that's kind of important too. Oh, you built that one. Pitch perfect. Ranged attack. Okay. Not a whole lot like on the bars. I believe that goes there and that goes there. Great cartoon. Yes, I have seen that many, many times. I can remember as a kid thinking it was boring. And I've seen it as an adult and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is genius. Let's try it. So worst that could happen, I'm terrible. I mean, chances are, but let's play. Let's try it. But yeah, it was really good. So yeah, I'm have an apartment. We're going from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom, so we downsizing. It's gonna suck, but it is what it is. Which is why I'll need a green screen. I don't have the space to have either a wall behind me or something aesthetic behind me. Level jobs. That's neat. Honestly, that's really cool. But yeah. So like this boring wall behind me is like that for now. And then it's green. I am debating on getting a smaller green screen that's easier to take up and take down, because the space that we're going is, again, smaller, so I have to take down and put back up every time I want to do something on camera, so it becomes a pain in the ass real fast. Where's going to be your studio? Studio. You mean, like my office, or? Hold on. Oh, my office space. It's going to be 2-bedroom apartment. So we have a living room. That living room is gonna triple as a bedroom. So my bed's gonna be like in the far corner. Someone ulted on me hard. Oh! So it's gonna be like a bedroom way in the corner. We're gonna have like a partition wall. And then there's gonna be also a dining room, because they don't have a dining room. I have a big kitchen table. And we're also gonna have this desk. We may have my husband's desk as well, depending on space, but she depended on space. She's we ain't blessed with space, so chances are this will be up against a wall, and then kind of it's also what you see is like the folding walls. I'll show you guys on Amazon what I'm talking about, or on Google, probably Google, because it's safer. Okay, I really need to fix my bars. But yeah, it can be a small wall. It can be like material, or fabric. It can be like wood, it can be all kinds of stuff, but it's basically privacy. And that's kind of what we're aiming for. Like, my dresser is going to be in one of my kids' rooms. Again, space is not something we're going to be blessed with. And if you're wondering, Peebs, why the downgrade? Girl! It's nothing personal. Basically what's happening is, basically what's happening, no, it's definitely not connected to anything. And that's kind of the point. But basically, my husband has been working at the hospital in this city for 7 years. And in this hospital, he has not gotten a full-time job. We won? What the fuck? How did we manage that? Definitely wasn't me who did that. Hold on. Bottom. Yes, bottom. So, did Peebs perform? The answer is no. No, she did not. Was she shit? The answer is yes. Basically, so my husband couldn't get a full-time job here. This last year, he's been replacing somebody on maternity leave, which good for them. What ended up happening, I was supposed to go there. Okay, Silent Nocturne. Alright, that should have been up here, absolutely. Go there. The Warden's Paean. Can go here. And the Repelling Shot. Okay, it can go right here. We got her. No, there. Thank you. Better. So yeah, so basically he has not had a full-time job in 7 years. He was casual, because that's how the union system starts. You have to go in. Oh, absolutely. That's on my to-do list. So, he started casual. He didn't get great hours, because of course he didn't. He got permanent part-time. He's still permanent part-time. And he was replacing a maternity leave, so he was doing full-time hours. And come August, he's going back to 25 hours a week, which mathematically is about $20,000. We're trying to purchase a house in 11 months. That's the goal. We can't have a part-time job. I'm sorry, we just can't. So, a city near where we grew up, like this closest city to our home area, had a full-time posting. He went for it, he got it. So he's got the position. We got money coming in, so we had to move. However, this city, there's no vacancy. None. When I say none, I mean fucking none. I mean, in the entire, we're a couple villages apart, but really like within 10-minute drive of each other. Small town, so when I say no vacancy, this place in the entirety of March and the first 3 weeks of February has only had 13 apartments come up. Total. So we couldn't get one there, and like we fucking tried. The other option, and I work in a different city, so we'll have to travel. So the option was, okay, what do we do? Well, we want to purchase a house in between these two cities. That's where we want to buy a house anyway. So if we can find an apartment there, that would be the best. And the city where I work, remember I only work 3 days a week in office, rent has doubled in price in the last year. Like fully doubled. What a 2-bedroom used to cost is now double. It's now closer to Toronto pricing, which, what the fuck? So the goal was either find one in the city he's going to work because he's 5 days a week, or B, find one in between where our kids can go to school in the same school that we'll eventually go when we purchase a house. That came in the form of a small 2-bedroom. And that's what we gotta do. No. Keep in mind, when I say city, the city I'm currently in is the second largest in the province at 70,000. The largest city in the province is the city I work in, has 80,000. And there's 2 cities right beside it, so total less than 100,000. And the city he's going to be working out of has 30,000. Like, we're talking small. This is really small. Like, where I'm from originally, like, I'm from a small fishing village, like 250 people total. He's from like a small town with about 5,000 if you count the indigenous reserve that's there, or the native reserve. On the brink of being a village. So I grew up in a village. It's called a village, like officially that's in the name. So yeah, she's small. Like, the whole province is small. Like, the entirety of the 4 provinces that make up Atlantic Canada is less than Toronto. Like small scale. Like, you know how some people are like, I travel 2 hours into city to work every day. That's not normal here. At all. It's not. Village. Yeah, homes are just a dream right now. We're trying anyway. Yes. Stuck. Oh, I tried. I did better than I did the first time. Okay, at least there's that. So yeah, the province is small. Like, in between these 2 cities is about an hour and a half. Like, he'll be an hour and a half one way, I'll be an hour and a half the other. Like, my drive to work with us living in between in the apartment we eventually chose is, I'm gonna drive 30 minutes, he's gonna drive about an hour. I got him, but he got me. Somebody got me. Shit. I wish it was possible. And I don't know how much you guys know about the housing crisis in Canada. I mean, there's housing crisis in the US, housing crisis in the UK. The problem is simple. Not enough houses. And in the big cities, people are paying exorbitant amounts to live. they can't afford to live. Toronto, you can't afford to live. Like, it's one of those, we're aware of it. Uh-oh. Fuck! Right in my region. Yes! Yes. So, like, Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal, like, you're priced out. You can't afford to live there. Again, like most US cities. So, what did they do? They either, during the pandemic, they either bought a, ow! During the pandemic, people bought houses in Atlantic Canada because they could work remotely, one. And two, houses are dirt cheap in the poor provinces. I live in the poor province. That's reality. The poorest province in Canada, right here. So, what ended up happening is people bought houses, people were happy with their house. No. Oh no! He's won! Exact. Okay. 4-hour drive. 4.5 hours. Okay. So I get the idea. So yeah, Toronto people bought houses here because they're like, shit, that's cheap and I can work from home. People that had houses in Ontario were like, oh my god, I can sell my house, get $1 million, buy a house for 250 grand and retire. That happened. A lot. Like, I don't even want to tell you how much that happened. Oh no! I died. I got wrecked. And then, landlords clued in. Landlords learned very quickly. Oh shit, that's damage is bad. Landlords learned very quickly that rental units were cheap. So at the beginning of the pandemic, they started buying like crazy. The next year to the pandemic, rent went up 30% across the province. Prices of houses went up 40%. And people from Ontario were buying. When I say Ontario, I mean like Alberta. Any of the large cities that were currently dealing with their own housing crisis bought here. And landlords. So 2 years of that, housing is finally crashed thanks to the upcoming recession. So house pricings are finally coming down. Landlords have finally stopped buying places. However, they have to pay for their investment and make the money. And that's where we're at right now. They overpaid for places because they bought it in year 2 and 3 of the pandemic. And they're making money. So rent doubled. Rent fucking doubled. Where I'm going to be living is in a small town. It's an apartment building. And honestly, pre-pandemic, if this place went for $800 a month, that's all it went for. I'm paying $1,050 for it on the high end. That's not too bad. The apartment that I'm currently in, pre-pandemic, went for $1,200. Currently, I'm paying $1,700. And when I gave my notice, the rental company, or the whatever management company, they're actually good friends of ours, and they said, you're really like good call moving. And we said, what do you mean, sir? Oh, well, he found the heating expense too much and this and that, so he's going to fit the unit for electric heat. He's going to do this, and he was going to raise the rent 40% plus make you pay your own heat and lights. And I was like, motherfucker. So this place is about to go to $2,000 plus heat and lights, where right now it was included. Where 2 years ago this went for $1,200 with it all included. Now I know people like, Peebs, I live in New York. $2,000 for an apartment, for a big apartment, makes sense. Would you say the same if it was the middle of Idaho? This ain't New York. This is the poorest province in Canada. And I can prove that. Watch this. Y'all want to watch something cool? This is gross, but watch this. Poorest province in Canada. I live in New Brunswick. New Brunswick. So yeah. Again, think of your poorest state, your poorest province of where you're at, and be like, wait a second. What? So yeah, that's what happened. Like, the average income here is much lower than Ontario. Much. Actually, and this is fact, a lot of people from Quebec will hire New Brunswick companies because, one, we're bilingual, on parle français, and two, they can do it cheaper here because a living wage here is a lot lower than it is in Quebec. For example, in Rome, a small flat could cost about 800 euros. You'd pay 3 months in advance. We don't pay through. Typically you pay first. You pay a damage deposit and first month. Yeah, inflation blew up here. To be fair, like, the problem is housing crisis across the country created a housing crisis in the poverty section, or that's the reality, right? I wish I could put it to you another way, but that's what happened. So there are people in this province who are like, fuck that province. Which is not a fair statement. It isn't. It's not their fault. They got the housing crisis issues first. They're just dealing with it how they can by fucking us. We're also on a medical crisis, because of course we are. So all these new people that moved to this province don't have family doctors. And they won't for another 5 or 6 years. Plus, all of these people that moved here, they don't have access to, like, some people moved in bilingual places. A lot of places, and this happened quite a bit, they now can't find jobs because they're not bilingual. Which, that one I will judge you a little bit on, okay? You went to the only bilingual province. You chose a house, which is fine. You can choose a house wherever. But you didn't Google what language they speak in the bilingual province? We have cities you can't get work if you're not bilingual. The city where I'm currently, like, where I'm going to be working in a couple weeks, that's the city. You either, it's rare to find an English only job. It's rare. Where the city I'm at right now is very Anglophone, very English. So here, most jobs are English only, and the advantage is to be bilingual, and you did a good job like that. Of course, the Italy poorest part of Italy. Of course, if we talk about the important names like Naples, really old universities, Federico, it would cost more. Exactly. Like, there's places it costs a lot more to live. The big city I gave you guys the example of, like, but I really feel for the people who are low income. I have no idea how in the fuck are you paying for rent. I don't know. I don't know. Because on top of that, I don't know if you guys remember or heard, but we're also in a food crisis, because of course we fucking are. Our food has gone up, depending on the store you buy it at. Some foods 20%, some on average 9% are food. Food! Ah! Oh no, you don't. Ha ha ha. Oh, what a butt. Alright. Oh, a fucking silenced mage? Take it out. Where's the dancer? Alright, here. Gotcha. Hee hee. I don't know what my alt does, and I should read it. How much would a mono local cost? So a 1-bedroom? Are you fucking kidding me, Calvin? That's stupid. I'm jealous. I'll show you guys. A 1-bedroom, there's not a lot of 1-bedrooms. 2-bedroom is the standard. And it depends on where. Ooh, I blew it up. One whole room. Again, rooms they're here and there, mostly for university students. $700-800 for a room, like as a student or as a bachelor apartment, we call them here. My 1 bed. Oh my god. Yeah, no. Again, $1,650, and they're about to raise it to almost $2,000 plus heat and lights. I do have a large apartment though. Like, she big. Alright, I'm down again. So, 2 bedrooms were what we were looking for because we didn't have a choice. And they can, in the city where I'm where I work, they're around $1,200 to $1,500 a month. The honest answer is I have no idea. Hold on. Let me go check. Did I do better? No, I did really shit. Ugh. I have to look up how to do it because I'm really not playing very well. Let me see for fun here. Hold on. Marketplace. Facebook is the place to go for property. Like, Canada really runs on Facebook. So just give me a second. I'm not going to show you my Facebook, obviously. Let's see. 2 beds, 1 bath, $1,350. 1,500, 3 bedroom, $1,450, 3 beds. 750, 2 beds, but she looks rough. 1,500, 3, 1,800, 3, 1,600, 2, 1,500, 2, 1,800, 3, 1,200, 2. I'm just going to click on the first one. This one's 14 for 2. Heat and lights. So that's plus heat and lights. $1,400 plus heat and lights. So the average here was about, let's say, 12 for 2 bedroom. On the cheap end, you might find $700, $800, or $900. Minimum wage is $14.75 as of next week. It's not even that now, or as of the 1st of April. Okay, so for 2,000, we'll say 25%. So you get $1,700 a month to live on at minimum wage. Assuming that you get... That doesn't even pay your rent and your electric. Remember, this is Canada. It's fucking gold. In the winter, your electric's going to cost anywhere between $600 and $1,000, depending on how nice or new your apartment is. In this apartment here, I wouldn't want to pay the electric. I'm sorry, it's too fucking big. Where I'm going, it's much smaller, so I don't mind paying it, but we're talking anywhere between $300 and $900 a month to heat these places in the winter. You can't afford to live on that on minimum wage. You can't. Imagine having kids. And keep in mind, Calvin, that I am in the cheapest province, or sorry, I am in the poorest province in Canada. I'm just going to Toronto for fun. Okay? I'm just reading it out. 1,600, 2 beds. 15. Oh, wow. Oh my God, it's bad. That's bad. 1,500, 2 beds. 2,400, 3 beds. 1,800, 2 beds. 1,500, 2 beds. 1,400, 2 beds. 900, 4 beds? That doesn't make sense. I think it's just the room. 2,300, 3 beds. 1,800, 2 beds. Hold on, let's get to Toronto. I'm in St. Catharines. Okay, there we go. Toronto. Keep in mind that I am... Oh, wait, let's scroll in a little bit. I have Mississauga. All right, Toronto City. Oh my fucking God, I would cry. 3 beds, 3,100. 1,400, 2 beds. 1,700, 2 beds. 2,000, 2 beds. 1,000, 1 room. 1,600, 1 room. 3,100, 3 beds. 2,600, 2 beds. I want to cry. How do you live? Well, that's where you the sad part is what choice do you have, right? If you're coming out of university, college, whatever, what choice do you have? You have no money. Unless mom and dad has money, you have no money. I grew up dirt poor. Like, we skipped meals. So my parents ain't got money. They got one of them has money today, but it ain't great. So I can't get help like that. So how do you rent? What choice do you have? Like, I feel bad for my kids, because my kids can't afford that. Jesus Christ, like, you're supposed to start at minimum wage. You're supposed to start a couple dollars more than minimum wage as you grow. Like, man, I have no idea how they're going to do it. I have a good job. And that's not to show off. I have been poor enough to where I've skipped meals as a kid. That was a thing. Or no heat in the winter. Been there. But today I have a really good job. And I have no fucking idea how I would survive with less. With no offense to anybody who does. Because I have no idea. I have no idea how they do it. I couldn't do it. And again, I'm just being realistic. Like, my food bill is double, triple what Calvin pays. Now, to be fair, we eat well, okay? My fridge has full of vegetables. We eat what we want. But I've stopped buying, like, a lot of junk and stuff because can't afford it. But yeah, that's where we're at now. Like, I don't believe it. But I have to admit, like, the only reason why we're doing okay is I live in a poor province. To be honest. I can't afford those Toronto prices. I can't. I physically can't. Even with my good job that is above median wage. Oh, I'm fine. Okay, like, don't get me wrong. Peebs is fine. Okay, we are downgrading to give us less of a headache and still be able to save money. Not a lot, mind you, because rent is up, but still, that was the goal. I'm fine. Peebs is fine. Okay, again, I've got a good job. I just have no idea how Peebs of 10 years ago would survive, because I wouldn't. I have no fucking idea. Like, because of what the rental markets were, I was able to save a down payment. I have a down payment. All I'm working on right now to get a house in 11 months is building credit. And my husband, we should be good in 11 months. So we're physically fine. We're doing all right. I just, having been there, I can't imagine what it's like. We're more bargain hunters now. I feed a family of 4, 2 teenagers. And again, we eat well. Like, don't get me wrong, your girl eats well. Okay? Peeps don't go hungry, obviously. Anything in the minuses? No, we're doing good. Yay! What is it? We're not doing smolder. So I spend, now keep in mind, Canadian food is more expensive than American food. That's just reality. Except for eggs. What the fuck, US? What the fuck? I spend about $6.70. The goal is to spend less than $6.50 every 2 weeks. Do I do it? No. I'm currently working on getting under that goal. And I think we're going to do it this pay, but the honest answer is that, you know, that's the goal. So about 1,300 is the goal. I usually get closer to 15. So again, 4 people, 3 pets. That's the reality. School, it depends. Because that expense went up significantly after the pandemic. Basically, how that worked is you bought your own school supplies. Honestly, it just supplies about 150, 200 if you're a bargain hunter. But you have to be a bargain hunter. However, in high school, due to the pandemic, laptops are required. They are required for learning in high school. So now the government does provide aid if you make under a certain amount. And they have different tiers. Like if you make under this amount, they'll help you this much. I get no help. That's okay. Look, I want to 100% like understand that I don't need the help. It's fine. I bought the laptop. So add 950 to that for my daughter. But I bought her a gaming laptop on purpose so it would last longer. So that in 3 years when my son goes to high school, I don't have to buy 2 laptops in the same year. Because laptops don't last. I hate laptops. I think they are the stupidest shit. No hurt to anybody who likes them. It's not what I'm saying. But a Windows laptop don't last. 3 years? Maybe? If you're lucky? 4? So I bought a more expensive one, hoping to get 4 years out of it. But yeah, kids at the schools need laptops today. Absolutely. Which is weird to say out loud, but factual. So this year I probably spent $1,100-ish. And $1,100, and again, plus like clothes, and then like school fees, which is fucking stupid that you pay that much money. So that's about $100 for both kids. Yes, you have to. Even in Canada, you do. Our universities are much cheaper than the US, and that's not a flex. It's not a great thing. It should be free. But even then, I couldn't afford to finish university because of loans and trying to work through them. It's not bad. But I'm also willing to spend the $100 on external storage if she runs out. Because I'm not dealing with that. Fuck that. So yeah. But student loans are regulated in Canada. You don't get them from the bank. You get them from the government. Now, the government only provides you with so much. So, it's very possible that it doesn't cover it all. Or, based on income. I was in a position where I was working myself through university. I was a young mom. And because I had an income on top of my student loan, they cut my student loan in half. And I couldn't afford to keep babysitter, to pay daycare and university. So I was like, well, we're done. But generally speaking, in Canada, it's highly recommended you don't grab a personal loan. Where in the US, it's encouraged to the young kids, but then they suffer a lifetime. So, how you want to look at that is definitely an opinion thing. You have something like, depending, some provinces have a system like that. If you made under $40,000 a year, you could get your student loans paid for by the province here. But the honest answer is that came in after I went to school. Which, listen, that's fine. I'm glad kids get it today. I wish I had it when I was going to university. I wouldn't have had to have worked or worked as much. I would have been fine. But it is what it is. And I'm glad that kids today get it. But so it's a better system than the US, but it's still not great. There's still some kinks to work out. The advantage of having a government loan, though, is that the government loan is low interest. Like, really low. Like, 2%. The disadvantage of it being to the government is you're paying it back. That's not a question, nor a debate. You are paying it back. So your income taxes are held until it's paid off. If you get any kind of bonus or stuff like that, nope, you get none of that. Your things are not paid off. You need to pay off your stuff. But that's how the system works. So they get you. But you'll never owe nearly as much as the Americans do, due to the interest rate. So it's an interesting system, honestly. It's, again, kind of in between. Canada's very much in between, right? Better than our stuff to the south when it comes to socialist programs, when it comes to university stuff like that. But still not as good as Europe, by any definitions. I wonder, is there anything? Meat only on weekends. Oh, we didn't get to that point. Well, then again, vegetarian options weren't really big. I want to say at least here. But then again, I'm also like East Coast of Canada, like poor. On the bright side, I can remember when lobster was poor people food. That's a real thing, by the way. When I was a kid, lobster was poor people food. And no, I'm not being an asshole when I say that. I am from a small fishing town. What did we fish? We fished lobster. And when like, everybody's dad fished lobster. My dad was an electrician, so not so much. But, like, everybody's dad fished lobster. So the kid that brought lobster sandwiches to school was the kid that couldn't afford the sandwich meat. Because their dad, their uncle, or whatever had lobster. That has since changed. I want to say like mid-90s, the lobster fishermen started doing very well for themselves. It has since declined. But yeah, I remember way back when lobster wasn't doing so well. And that was like the main source of income for a lot of people. It wasn't going well. No, I remember that. I do. It's funny today because, again, people look at you like, oh, you're kidding. That story is not real. No, it's very real. When everyone in the 90s, it was a very poor village. Like, we didn't do very well. And then, like, the price of lobster soared. And since then, they've been doing... They did, like, really good for a few years. And, like, a few years, they're, like, doing okay. The pandemic, they did fucking beautifully. There's some fishermen that tripled their income during the pandemic. And they're fighting to keep those wages, and it's not happening. So, we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, it's very much an interesting thing when it comes to looking at it today compared to what it was. So I can remember... Same thing. Again, we're talking small ass town. 250 people today. And where my husband lived, like a couple thousand. About 5 if you include the native reserve. And again, these are fishing towns. Okay? Most people didn't work during the winter. Think about that. Most people did not work during the winter. Period. Because your dad typically fished. Your mom worked at the lobster plant. Because there was a couple lobster plants that are local. Or fish handling. They're factories, basically. And they would get seasonal work. And then they would go on employment insurance during the winter. So most people had the winters off. As a normal thing. And it was weird that my dad didn't. And I can remember, like, Dad, why aren't you home in the winter? I can remember that conversation. Yeah. But that's a very unique... Like, it's a unique situation because where else is it fully seasonal, like, as a town? Right? Best banger of a song. I'm sorry. Fight me. Banger. Banger. What grand company am I in? Which one do you think? If you said the Flame Generals because of Raoban, you would be correct. 100%. And at the time, I was like, God, he's kind of cute. He's giving us this big-ass speech. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's what happened there. But that's 100% what happened there. Yeah, small town. Small fishing towns. Same thing when I met my husband. He was a fisherman. He was a deckhand. Check for hand-ins. Oh wait, hold on. I want my stuff. Money! We pray. So good. Fight me. Fight me. So good. Let's go see what these hand-ins are. Whee! The 20 to 50 here would eat meat. Would eat mainly dairy meat since farmers. Polenta. Yeah, we ate simple foods. A lot of seafood, a lot of chicken. But I'm also like, hold on, let me get a Google map out. Okay, hold on. Oof, where are we? Ah, that's where I live. Okay, scroll way the fuck out. Okay, we know what this is. This is the map of the world. Okay. Focus here. Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean. See where the little heart is? That's Peebs, right there. Where I'm from is up here. So they would fish out of, this is what we call Northumberland Strait, and they would fish out of there, lobster. Some would fish up here. In the US, they fish lobster down here. You can get lobster all the way up. It's just if you want a harder shell and a sweeter meat, colder waters. But yeah. And this is where my husband's gonna work. This is where I'm gonna work. These two cities. So we're moving somewhere there. Actually, there. It's a small village in between. But yeah, this is when you look at Canada as a whole, we are not the smallest province, but we ain't big. Right? We're tiny. And most of Canada's population is in Ontario. This big fucker province. So, if that gives you any idea. But yeah, we grew up right next, this, like, again, the Atlantic Ocean's right there. Like, this is, we know the sea. It's funny, there's some people that grow up never seeing an ocean in their life. I saw an ocean daily. Not, like, because I lived by the ocean. No, the school bus went by the places that did. So I literally went by the ocean, like, daily. So, like, beach, where we're moving to, a beach is within 10 minutes. An actual to the ocean beach. The beach that I prefer is about 15 minutes from there. Maybe 20, because you kind of got to go in the woods for it. But yeah. So, like, the water is something we're definitely used to. Okay, what do you mean? Hand-ins. So, what do you do? Free comedies, pledge allegiance. Oh, no. Oh. Provisioning expert delivery. Alright, it's quartermaster. Emotional damage. It's a pretty bird. Did you guys see in The Sims 4 they have a reference to this? Provisioning. Alright, let's go see. So you just build these and like get these and everyone's gonna be happy peppy? Oh, okay. Makes sense. Huh. Interesting. Good to know. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you. City of the Mediterranean. Oh my goodness, that'd be so nice. You can gather or buy. Obviously gather because your girl is cheap. Okay, what am I doing right now? We checked that out. We now know it exists. That's awesome. Let me double check my gear. Still rocking the best I can. Evening, so when I moved to the south, I didn't see it. Felt complete darkness. Oh my goodness. Look at the XP. I got ya. Okay. So, what are we going to do right now? I have a plan. I'm going to turn off the sound. Because I would like to look at some stuff you guys sent me. There's one I wanted to watch with you guys. Mr. Happy, was it? Oh, boobs. Holy shit. Oh, it's not boobs. That's so funny. I'm going to show you guys this. This is good. It's bread. I love that. That is so good. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to switch the screen to this one. Ah, there we are. Okay, I'm going to turn up the audio because we want to hear Mr. Happy. So Mr. Happy's got like this list. I want to read it. Hold on, there it is. Final Fantasy hot takes. Hold on, you slap. Oh, shit. Hold on, you. That was something. Whew. Okay. All right, so I think I got it turned up. Yeah, should be good. Ready? 32 minutes of hot takes. Oh, God.
Hey everyone, I'm actually prefacing before my own introduction because as I was in the middle of recording this video, I realized that the forum thread I'm going to use for it is actually one that began back in 2022 and was recently brought back on the official forum. So it was like brought to the top of the list. It was Necroed. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. Now, I haven't done a forum reading video in, I don't know, it's been like a month and a half maybe.
Okay.
So I figured it was about time to go ahead and do that again. So I was thinking, well, you know, what am I looking for here? Well, I do know that there is the Q&A thread for PAX East, which I'm sure is hilarious because there is a forum that reads, this video actually gets released. It means that I thought it was, well, at least a silver mine, I suppose. So that's what we're going to do for while I'm playing games. Sometimes I would just eat out of the bag too. Sorry, Mom. But several years ago, I just stopped buying code Mr. Happy to save 5 rotation in my. Oh.
Okay. I don't know Mr. Happy very much. I've seen some of their stuff. I unfollow people that do this. I want you guys to realize that we are 3 minutes and 42 into the video, and we have not touched the fucking video yet. Maybe it's because I've fallen in love with TikTok. I'm fine with an intro. But Jesus. So, obviously he's a bigger YouTuber than I am. He knows what he's doing. Maybe I'm the one that's in the wrong. 4 minutes. Not a fan.
Oh no, you've chosen violence right out the gate. How could you do that? Outside of a couple of tracks, I keep many other games OSTs in rotation in my regular listening, but not 14. Furthermore, often I hear it once when content is new, I'll flip the music off and just pull up something on Spotify or YouTube. I think the end point there is not that surprising. I mean, it doesn't matter how good something is if you have to listen to the same song over and over again for the same content over and over again. It's completely reasonable to want to hear something else. But man, isn't that memorable? Oh, I mean, maybe Final Fantasy music just connects differently with me, but I have so many memorable tracks in this game. I mean, across all of the Final Fantasy franchise, sure, but in 14 in particular, probably have over 100 that I could just name that I love off the top of my head. Oh, what a post. There's 1,300 posts, and that's the first one? Oh.
Okay, we're stopped because I just got really excited. I get to see them in July. I'm going to FanFest. Okay. Yeah, the music's banger. But he's right. I'll, especially if I'm farming and doing bullshit, I will 100% have something on the background. Usually a podcast, usually a video, usually a show. Something on the other screen. 100%. New zones, I'm into it. And there are some zones I won't listen to it at all. Ultimate Duel. No, I don't listen to it. I can't. My heart can't handle it. So, while I agree with most of what this guy is saying, as for like the music not being bangers, that's a lie. Okay? Scream, it deserves its own Spotify list. Okay. Which, by the way, I need it on my list. I need it on my Spotify list. Okay?
Maybe this won't be funny. Maybe this will be painful. I don't know. All right, in the very second post, let's see if this is any better than the first. The crafting system in this game isn't fun. Would rather have traditional MMO crafting where you AFK process materials than one-click craft. See, now that I think falls under the category of not being a hot take and strictly being an opinion. Because disliking, I guess, a particular, like not resonating with a particular feature of an MMO is, I don't know, that's not a hot take to me. Like, I'm not super into the crafting, but I also don't want it to be anything else because of my own. Like, what I want, you know, I want it to be what the people who want to do it want it to be. So I just have a different outlook. But this is one of those cases where I totally get it. I don't engage with the crafting either. And realistically, if it was completely mindless, I would probably interact with it more. But, I mean, that is what it is. You can't like everything about a game. You can't realistically expect to engage with everything game. So not a hot take, I don't think. Oh.
Okay, I'll stop there. I disagree wholeheartedly. Crafting is treated not like a chore in this game. In other MMOs, it's treated like a chore you need to do, get it over with, do your shit, and that's the difference. So crafting in this game is meant to be another form of fun and not, well, I got shit to do. So that being said, I have to admit that completely disagree. Okay, Mage says she turns off all WoW music. I definitely do. Warcraft, and there's nothing wrong with Warcraft. The thing is Warcraft music's good for studying. It's excellent. It's beautifully composed. It's just, it's very background music. Nothing wrong with that, right? It is what it is when it comes to background music. There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. It's just not engaging. I will put it in the background, or I will just mute it, go listen to my own music 9 times out of 10. Final Fantasy 14, I usually watching something just because I don't have a whole lot of time to play other than that. But again, the reality is I'm usually doing the same. I have one big Spotify list with everything. And I have a Christmas one. Because your girl likes metal Christmas. But that's it. So, like, I'll throw in a little bit of everything in this list, and that's just how it is. Gaming music? Sure. As long as it's a banger. Let's see what the next hot take is, because...
Oh my goodness. So I skipped a few posts because some were responding to one another. And this isn't a hot take. This is like a hot thesis. I don't even know where to begin with all the text that's on. Look at this. You could have just wrote the first thing. Casual players are the blood and organs of the game. More hardcore players, the bones. I think hardcore players oversell their importance, but casual players who believe there's no value in content derelicted, if temporarily, at hardcore players. That's not a hot take. That's literally like basic consumerism, and by no means should be met with any sort of malice. But what is below it? Because if the first part's not hot, what is this? I don't think it's important ultimately that things are hyper restrictive, just delayed in some fashion. I mean, I don't believe content just needs to be for X. People go on and on about how content needs a challenge for everyone forever. But word soup.
No.
Too little time in getting side content outside of...
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're going to stop at word soup, because that's word soup. It's like, listen, you can't build your game against top 2%. You can't. You have to build your game against the bell curve and then have content on either side. That's how it works. It's marketing. It's money. You don't make money if you built it for the top end. Sorry. Jesus Christ, that was a fucking paragraph and a half to say that. Starfall, I will put Warcraft music to study. I will also put lo-fi. Usually just random a lo-fi thing. That's it, nothing fancy.
Because again, there's 1,300 posts in this. This could be videos for months, as far as I know. Let's look at this one. This one's got a little bit more text, but it's not as wordy as the last one. I think the game invests too little time in getting side content outside of gold saucer minigames done right, both in polish and especially base concept and technical affordances. Most initial attempts are painfully bare bone, as if attempting to recoup player hours played recoup player hours played per dev hour spent, even in that first go round. Even after feedback has come in, there's minimal improvement between iterations, largely because the initial design was so unambitious. I think that's, I don't know if I would agree with it down to the word, but I mean, we've seen this plenty of times. So again, I don't think this is that much of a hot take. I mean, look at Eureka's initial implementation and then the direction they wanted to take it in Pagos and the 180 they took in Pyros. That's why I feel like the minimal improvements isn't always true. I feel like Animos to Pagos speaks to that, but Pagos to Pyros doesn't. Pagos to Pyros is a clear, we took feedback and made improvements to it. But then you also have to consider how much of this take is being derivative against things they personally don't find enjoyment in already, and thus want it to become something they do enjoy, but it's just not meant for them, and it kind of combines with the previous. So it's hard to tell like where a lot of these originate from, but again, I don't think that's a hot take.
One of the big things about Final Fantasy XIV is that their content is in small bursts, which is great. It also gives you the room for the players that are really into it to relax, do nothing, and enjoy themselves in between patches of content. So yeah, you might be in a position where you're like, oh well, I have nothing. That's cool, but to compare it to its competitors, that's just simply not true. It's just not true. They are ambitious with what they do. They do try, and again, they do take player feedback and are straightforward with their response to it. So, hard disagree. You may not like a piece of content, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to like it. Does it exist? Yes.
Hotter still, a central side content form that ties the rest together would actually be good for a given expansion. It just has to be done well. For instance, imagine if just another diadem rehash, an utterly disjointed alliance raid, and another 2 years of just the same old expert spam and isolated tiers. We'd actually gone off to revitalize the light waste using the connections between stasis and echo time. Well, I mean, you know, we did, yeah. I mean, rather than the light waste being a small vista, we could actually go out and explore. See, this is one of those things where it's like, you want the world, in this case, quite literally, but we achieved the thing that you stated, and like it, I get it. Like I totally get wanting the empty to like gradually refill with life, and for us to explore it, refilling with life. But for me, fair, but I don't feel like that needs to be so expansive of a thing. I think that the empty, we all thought it was potentially going to be the exploration area, but you know, we knew at some point that it wasn't going to be.
That I can see that. It doesn't mean it won't be in the future. It won't be expanded on in the future, because it's a whole new world, quite literally. But the reality is that it's not nearly as condensed as they say. The only argument that someone could make to me that I would be like, you know what, you're right. Raiding. I love the raids and the type of raids they do. I like the fact there's no fucking trash. Oh my god. I'll never forget my first time raiding, and I was working and trying to get through, and I'm like, okay, kill the trash, and I was like, oh, the healer's not here. It's called trash for a reason. It's trash. It's pointless. It's bullshit. So I really like the idea of how Final Fantasy XIV does the raids, but the reality is that for every given expansion, you're not getting a whole lot of rating. If that's your thing, and that's all you do, you may find yourself a little on the limited side, or a little on the, well, not great. if you're the person who does it here and there, kind of how I think Final Fantasy XIV is built with that in mind, with the, you do a little bit here and there. I think that's the intent behind Final Fantasy XIV. MMOs don't play that way. People are lemmings. They devour content. So it's very quick for them to be like, okay, well, I killed these 4 bosses. I'm trying to progress on this 3rd one in the extra difficulty. I now keep trying for 3 months, 6 months. I get that. I do. But I find that Final Fantasy has a different objective. It's more about play a little bit of everything and enjoy the one thing you enjoy a lot, but dabble. Compared to others where they're like, you want to enjoy the thing? We'll give you the thing. We'll give you all of we'll give you so much of the thing that you'll never finish. Have FOMO about it, and then we'll give you more. That's kind of what like Warcraft is, for example, because again, they have a new raid every patch with 4 levels of difficulty. They have new PvP seasons constantly. If you want to do it all, you can't. Or you can, but you gotta play a fucking lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're building a game for the people that'll consume and devour. Where I find Final Fantasy XIV is the opposite. The problem is the guy in the middle. The guy who just likes the game. Plays a lot because they like it. They don't devour content. They sift their way through it and work and find themselves 3 months into a patch and they're like, what do I do for the last month? That's the person I feel for. But yeah.
Okay. So there's that, I suppose. However, the end comment here, near in that context could actually make sense. In open world and instance content could actually share an interesting synergetic connection. No. The near content is stuffed in a corner. It has no relevance to anything. Leave it in that corner. It's there. It's fine. It's Yoko Taro's little playground within Final Fantasy XIV. It's fine. Leave it there. It's fine over there. There. That way.
I like that it exists.
Okay, we haven't had an actual like hot take. Like the first one was such a shotgun. Like I don't know where to go. Dungeons should be removed and instead have single player duties. All right, we're pulling it back, I guess. Yeah, removing dungeons from an MMO is probably not a good idea. Heck, as we've gone down from 3 dungeons a patch to 2 and then 1, it's been a huge amount of backlash from people who literally enjoy just logging in and doing a few casual dungeons with their friends, or using those dungeons to expand the world and the lore like they did back with the hard mode. Perfectly reasonable things, but removing them altogether and only having single player duties with trust. I mean, the thing is, this is making us choose between 2 things when Endwalker has literally been us getting both of those. Like Shadowbringer started with trust system, which was renamed to duty support with trusts being just the avatars. But in Endwalker, the whole point has been to kind of regulate these 2 ideas into the same thing.
I agree.
So the fact that even with what Endwalker's done, they think that that is not good enough and we should just only have the single player duties that's something. Okay, that's
dumb. Like, let's be honest, that's dumb. Variety is spice life. Let people choose. If people, with the roulette system and everything else, people will be playing your dungeon. You don't have to wait hours and hours. Listen, have you sat for an LFR for an hour and a half, got in, and then the group disbanded because you came into a wipe? Been there, done that. This don't happen in this game. Ever. Because of the roulette system. So yeah, duty, I think every dungeon should have duty support. Or trusts. But I also think that all of them should be available to play with your friends as a group. I also have to agree with, more dungeons would be good. I would also like to go back to having dungeons that are not related to MSQ. Side dungeons with side stories. Like, again, take something like Tamtera, which is my favorite dungeon. Y'all can argue with me about that one. Too bad, you lose. Tamtera's the best. I love Tamtera because it's so compact. Yes, it's part of the MSQ, but its story is within the dungeon. It's not out there. I like that a lot. And I wish there was more of that. Like, to me, why can't we have a dungeon going through random shit? Like, the more of them, the better. I'm down. I like that. So let's continue.
And it's one that's so short that there's no way I can't have already read it before the question begins. Casual and hardcore have no meaning. You know, I agree with that more than people might think. Because I think people form an idea of what makes casual and what makes hardcore when there is no one answer to either of those things.
Yep.
Some people look at raiders and instantly assume them to be hardcore. Whereas you have raiders that maybe raid 1 or 2 nights a week for a lockout or 2 at most, and maybe even less. And would you consider them hardcore? No, they're casually raiding. But then you've got people like, I'll use Angelus Demonus. You know, he does deep dungeon content, and he does that content hardcore.
I gotta play
He does
that
everything
circle.
else casually. He doesn't really spend a lot of his time doing other things. He creates content for deep dungeon hardcore. That's where he just chooses to spend. But even then, he's still spending, X amount of hours a night. He's not playing 16 hours a day. He's playing, I'd say a reasonable amount of hours for someone who has the time to stream and chooses to do that on their nights, as a living or otherwise. It's like, there's just so many facets to it that you can't, I feel like it's really hard to call someone all of one thing, but no one's going to take the time to break it down individually. So that actually,
He's
the
right.
least hot take and the most interesting take so far. All right, moving on to page
agree.
3.
110.
This is the 22nd response, again, out of almost 1,400. This video could be forever. We could just be here from now on till the end of time. I'm going to have to bookmark this and come back to it at some point. Anyway, apparently referring to ultimate titles and weapons as shinier BK mentor crowns was a hot take. That's going to depend on your experience with the people.
I don't give a fuck. You can call them the pretty weapons. You can call them the sparkly weapons. You can call them the badass bitch breaker. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep over that
People
shit.
who have them, because I'm going to be honest, most people who clear ultimates don't. And I feel that way about most of them, but when I think about like the average, this isn't too far off the pulse, I feel. Hop down a few more posts. Seen a lot of negativity on the forums lately compared to positivity. Well, I mean, that's kind of normal. People are always quicker to complain about something than they are to praise something.
And they're louder about
And so when anything that is negative does happen, it comes out of the woodworks way more. Yes, enough to make me feel like this is a hot take. Endwalker was the best expansion, and I loved everything. Well, it's not done yet, so maybe don't act like it's over. We still got some time left. It was very memorable to me and a fantastic conclusion to the game.
Is it memorable? Yes. Is it a fantastic conclusion to a game? Yes. Did it have a great curtain call scenes? Yes. Is it the best expansion? Here's a hot take. No. Shadowbringers. I'm sorry. Shadowbringers is the best expansion of any game I've ever played, and honestly, Shadowbringers made this game top 3 game for me of all time. Shadowbringers was, wah. I cried, I screamed, I dreamt about it, I made up theories, it was next level. I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with Endwalker. Endwalker as a product is incredible. It is a top 5 best game ever with Endwalker. There's no arguing that Endwalker's not fantastic so far. As for negativity, listen, I was going to make a short, and I'm dead serious, I was going to make a short about the drama in Final Fantasy XIV, and how everyone's making up this. We're at a point now where we're talking about high chairs and making it dramatic. Remember, guys, this is a lull in content that's exciting for content creators, okay? Let's be honest, right? Can you make an MSQ video? No. Can you make a reaction video? Not really, no. You see what I mean? There's not a whole lot of meat and potatoes to make a big Final Fantasy video that's going to make you bajillions. There isn't. So, the easiest thing to do is every little thing they come out with, find the hot take, make videos like these. I'm at a point where I believe that a lot of these dramatic videos are just people grabbing some shit posters, Twitter, making a thing out of it because money.
Yeah, you know, I could see why they feel that way about it. Because I think there's a post, like a few posts ago, that says Endwalker was the worst expansion, or has been the worst expansion. And I kind of see...
I'm skipping his opinion because it doesn't matter. If it's not Shadowbringers, he's wrong. I'm kidding. Oh my god, I'm kidding. I just want to get to the next one because I like commenting on them.
An abbreviation. So here's a hot take or 2-in-1 that gets me a lot of hate. Shadowbringers was the worst expansion and Stormblood the best one. You know, I actually, again, I think depending on how you value your time in the game, you could still I kind of get it. So as Shadowbringers, you know, we had a lot of the delays because everything was falling apart around the world. Still is pretty much. And that's so if you were someone who kind of leaned on 14's normalcy and the rate at which the content was introduced, or if you were someone who was specifically looking at hardcore content, like there were lots of things, lots of little things that were lacking other than the story. But I don't know what they're referring to. I don't know what quantifies worst expansion. Do they mean they hated the story the most? Do they mean all the delays and the content that was pushed out of it, like the ultimate, or the like maybe they didn't like Boja? Like I guess I don't know. And for Stormblood, a lot of hardcore raiders, at least, which is why I think that's where they're going with this, do generally like Stormblood and its overall content between Eureka, Baldesion Arsenal, getting to ultimates, having a pretty solid Savage tier across the board. I generally liked 24-man series. Like, all of those things kind of pile up and made Stormblood liked. And then even, you know, those of us who liked the initial Blue Mage release and going through and collecting the spells and doing the raids and all, like there's room to agree and disagree. So I get why saying that in a bubble would be a hot take, but if you were talking strictly about content, I kind of get it. Another hot take. I've read one of these persons already. I mean, I guess that just works out. Viera and Hrothgar should have never been implemented. Ooh, especially with how half done. I mean, quite literally for a while. Their development resources could have went to expanding the existing races customization. So the first part, I kind of get, like, here's the Viera ears and the fact that they started with only one of the two genders and we weren't even guaranteed to get the other one. Still waiting on female Hrothgar. That'll be 7.0 most likely. I sort of get it, but I don't think the development resources going into existing races would have changed a whole lot. We know that in terms of your character creation, they're quite limited in what they can expand upon. And then in terms of the race customization itself, I mean, we've seen them continue to grant race customization with hairstyles and whatnot, and then just not finish some of the stuff with, like, Viera. So I feel like they still did both at the same time. They had two half-released races, and then continued to expand upon the other races and never finished the other ones. So if anything, I'd prefer they finally cut back on the things for the other races and finish what they started across both Viera and Hrothgar and prioritize that. So this one's got...
Okay. Couple things. I hate when they say, well, you should have moved that resource over here to get this thing done instead. You don't know how resources are allocated. You don't. You don't know enough about game dev to understand how much work goes into one thing versus how much work goes into another, how big of a team is required, how much sales point was coming on the Viera, right? Again, this was selling a game as well. This was a sales point. They needed something big with the new expansion. I can't tell you how much little detail goes into this stuff, pre-planning long in advance, and how the resources are allocated to do stuff. So to me, when someone says, well, you should have brought the resources from here to there, is usually somebody who doesn't understand the inner workings of business. Hot take right there. Secondly, do I think they were unfinished? Yes. Do I think they're still unfinished? Yes. To me, there's no excuse in 2023 why there's not two genders for everything. At least. To me, there should be all of them. But anyway. I think they should have put more resources to it. Or not more resources, but at least had everything a little bit better packaged when they released it. Because again, this was part of the Shadowbringers package. And I know that there is some pandemic stuff, as he stated. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of went in here that we don't know. So that might have been part of the problem, but it definitely came out unfinished. And that's a miss. That is a very big miss. I'm glad that they got the males Vieira's, but again, I'm still very not a fan of the fact that there's still not two genders for the Hrothgar and the big kitties. And of course, the limitations of the ears. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's something that should have been planned for. This is something that would be very interesting on a business scale to look back and see what the lessons learned about this was, because there was a big miss. How much was supposed to be delivered pre-pandemic? How much of this was not delivered or unable to be delivered? How many problems did they have in the development of? No, I work in project management. So we work with people like that, right? My job is to plan that shit. So when we look at the lessons learned on this stuff, it would be interesting, again, what was supposed to be, what challenges they came, other than the pandemic, what bugs did they come into, what stopped them from doing all of that, what was the goal, what was the goalpost in selling those races. Should they have maybe waited until the next expansion? I don't know. Again, I don't know what the business offer was. I don't know what the sale was. I don't know. I'm not in that boardroom to say, okay, in this expansion, we are selling this level cap, this, and this. Right? So, that's all very interesting information that obviously we'll never know. That's very internal. But that's the stuff that I would be interested in seeing about that. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of when people say, oh, well, they should have just moved the resources. Dude, you don't know how hard that is to do. Exactly, the customizations. There's a lot to it. Again, I can say, like, listen, it's 2023. There shouldn't be just one gender to a race. It's easy for me to say it, but the reality could be extremely different. Again, they may have had on paper both genders. We don't know that. They may have had on paper Vieira ears to fit helmets the way Lala's do. I have no idea. I'm just making shit up as I go along right now. But the idea is that we don't know what the original cell was, what the original, what was on the original project schedule. We don't know what happened to it. Again, there was a pandemic. Chances are a lot of shit put off to the side or last minute pulled out. A lot. So be very interesting to see where they had to cut and what they had to do to make this happen.
Got 7 numbers, so I'm assuming it's 7 takes for the price of 1.
Can we stop again? Again, that's all the nerdy shit that I would be interested in. Obviously, excuse me. Obviously, like, not a whole lot of people would like to know that, but I'm here and I'm like, I got questions.
1, so maybe we've read some already, but I'm kind of drawn to this post. This community isn't nearly as friendly as people try to preach it to be. It's snooty, passive-aggressive, and mean girl. See, that's the internet. People treat that like it's an individual community thing. No, that's the internet. And the more people that coalesce in one location on the internet, the more of that you get. And those people stand out like a sore thumb. You can't avoid them. It's unavoidable. So I've been around since 1.0, you know, for Realm Reborn. It's always been like that, but it's always in pockets. And
it's in small pockets. And to be perfectly honest, I would invite you to play World of Warcraft. Tell me how that goes. Shit! I hit the button.
Rely too much on others to carry them on the things for the mean girl. See, that's the internet. People treat that. I've been around since 1.0, you know, for Homer Born. It's always been like that, but it's always in pockets. And you can choose not to be a part of those things. But people are people. They're like drama machines. So I get it. At the same time, it's like it's a lot to blame it on one game and more to say it's just existence, I suppose. People rely too much on others to carry them, not related to casuals, hardcore, just people in general. I mean, they said it themselves, people in general. I mean, I feel like this is a complaining about the existence of people more than it is about the game. So it's not even a hot take, I feel. 3, Endwalker was a disappointing expansion. Nope. Man, I've loved Endwalker so far. I mean, it's had its problems, but like, It's been, at least for me, nice to have a ton of things to tackle constantly, even if I wish some of them would last longer or better reward structures. Like, it was cool doing the first raid tier, into DSR, into the second raid tier, into Criterion Savage, into the latest Ultimate, into Deep Dungeon, into the next Savage, into the next Criterion. Like, I'm eating good, but that's just me. 4, I feel like there are too many try-hard uwu kawaii players. Try too hard to be cute.
Oh, well, I always wanted to do that. Again, this person just hates people.
Why can't they want to be cute, man? Why can't someone want their character to be cute? I mean, it's an RPG role-playing game, so you know some people get really into the role-play and others don't. I just if I'm not feeling the vibes, I just leave. I don't worry about how hard they're trying. I just don't get involved. 5, I feel like the lack of information about the islands is a sign that's going to be side content quickly and easily forgotten. I mean, it's going to be forgotten after this expansion. I felt that way before it even came out because they gave us... So we know we're supposed to get another island in 0.4. They actually outlined everything for it when they went over all of the expansion plans for like every patch. It's a very broad overview, but it's a new island in 0.4/0.5 and updates to the island. And we've already seen, you know, a few rank upgrades, a few new wildlife things. But yeah, I mean, I never expected it to be anything more than, if they update anything at all, it's a couple new ranks, a new building to customize, like tiny things added to it, you know? So I kind of understand and agree with that. What Square Enix has done to Bear and Hrothgar is more offensive than impressive. Finish the races and add new customization to older races. I mean, I said that, yeah, I mean, I kind of had a post about that. And 7, we don't need more classes or races. Well, races, they kind of agree. They want to finish female Hrothgar, They want to release female Hrothgar. And then they don't want to add any more. They said that these would probably be the last 2 races. The only reason they even added the other genders was because of the general outcry for them. So they agree with you there. But classes, see, that I don't agree with. Because classes are something that are always exciting to get something new for. Now, that depends on how they handle said classes.
Even then.
And I feel like more often than not, they run into issues with old class updates than brand new classes. But that's just me. But no, these were all funny, but reasonable, I'd say.
I'd argue and say maybe they don't need new classes. Maybe they don't. There's a lot. It is overwhelmingly a lot. Now, most players have not played since 1.0. Let's be honest. So for you to be multi-class and everything and be maxed out your gear and everything is rare. It's not an every player thing, right? It happens. That's great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. A new class is nice. Nothing wrong with that. But it's maintaining the integrity of the class itself and everything else, right? Do we need a new class? I don't think so. Not this expansion. How about that? I think that's a fair statement. Let these ones breathe. Let these ones evolve. Not this expansion. We'll see how they work out in the next. But to me, I'm very much a we'll see because, again, it's... I don't know.
I'll probably read a couple more, and then I think my brain needs time to rest before doing anything else. Based on my experience here, my real hot take is there needs to be little to no new content in 7.0, and we need a major engine upgrade or replacement instead.
I'm gonna bite his off. I'm 100%.
One, that would have already needed to be in.
Okay, I was into it. It was puppies. But, no. YouTube, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Okay? Holy shit. I don't to say. Mistakes were made. How about that local sports team? Oh.
In the works. They can't just, like, that wouldn't be something they could read this and then be like, you know what, that guy's right. Like, that would have had to have been an active decision from, like, before 6.0 even released, because it's going to take years for anything like that to happen. And in isolation, too. Like, it can't even be, like, the same people doing both. But also, no new content. Ooh, like, I get it. Like, I do want an engine upgrade as well. But if you have nothing new, your game is dead. Especially for a fully necro thread. But either way, this will be the last one I do for this video.
Okay.
They should make the raiding scene more desirable instead of cordoning off somebody played Final Fantasy 11, I can tell you that. Savage from normal and such. I think we should be given totally new encounters, cutscenes, and story along with the higher tier rating. And the raiders should be forced to sit through it like Praetorian. No. The first time. I don't care if first time or because Praetorium, there is no like the first time. It's every time. So don't make that analogy. Rating hasn't ever felt quite as fulfilling as it did during A Realm Reborn and 2.1 to 2.5. Wait. Rating hasn't ever felt quite as fulfilling as it did during A Realm Reborn and A Realm Reborn 2.1 to 2.
Okay. All I can say is that player has never tried rating anywhere else. Alright. Like, I'm glad they really liked ARR's rating, but that... How do I put this? It ain't my journey. God damn, I honestly think some of these people just made shit up and they're like, here you go. I wanted to be on this hot take thread. Anyway, before I get demonetized completely, we're going to cut it there for the night. Mr. Happy, honestly, I agree with you 95% of the time. Honestly. And that Stray movie looks really good, but, you know, don't watch the commercials on YouTube, okay? Jesus. In the meantime, thank you so much for being here, guys. Have yourselves a legendary night, and I can't wait to see you guys again on the next one. Bye.